Ducks fans, are you ready? You are listening to the Ducks and Pucks podcast. This is the #1 home for Anaheim Ducks talk and analysis. Here we go.
Welcome to the show. This is your host, Mike Walters, along with my co-host, Eddie Richard, and we have a Halloween special show for you this time around. And we're happy to announce that it is over. The losing streak is done. The Ducks finally won a game after losing 7 in a row. I was a little nervous before doing this show because we were going to have to talk about a bunch of losses, but Eddie and I went to the game. They ended up beating Toronto dramatically in overtime. There's a lot of stuff we got to get to. Just initial reaction, Eddie, from last night's crazy win.
Like I told you this morning when I texted you, I feel like Columbus Blue Jackets power play. I felt like complete shit this morning, but you know what? It was worth it. I had a great time. It was just, it's a night that I needed out. Mike, seeing you too I haven't seen you in a while. It was just cool. Like you're my brother, and we just instantly connect. We had that bond. From when I got to your house to when I left, it was just perfect. The whole night was perfect. Like win or lose, I was still happy to be there at the game. So I appreciate you inviting me. I didn't really appreciate spending $18 on a beer. I'm going to keep crying and bitching about that, but I bought a few of them. But, I mean, that was a great game. I'm glad Z stepped up and took charge and got to win for us. It's good to leave that arena with the W and me sitting in the Uber. And you know what sucks, too? There was an accident that happened on the 57, so I was like, it was a dead stop. So I'm over here just almost dying in the Uber, about to throw up, but you know what? It was all worth it to watch the Ducks win. So it was a perfect night. I can't complain.
Yeah, it was a crazy night. A lot of things to cover. I almost knocked myself out in excitement over the win, and we'll get to that in a second. But we'll do the show a little bit differently this time. So we'll talk about that Toronto game first, and then kind of go back and talk about the other couple games, in between the last two podcasts. Then we'll talk about the Ducks. There's a bunch of injury news and roster moves and all that. A lot of your fan questions we'll get to. We'll talk about if the Ducks should make a trade, and then we'll also finish off with a couple other things going on around the league as well. So plenty of stuff to get to. But like I said, we'll change it up this time. We'll go a little bit out of order. We'll talk about this Toronto game. Crazy game. Eddie and I, we went, and you were right, getting the drinks. It was crazy. We got our Bud Light seltzers, which I don't know if that counts as a beer or not, because that's what a lot of you were commenting on social media during the game, whether or not that's a real beer or not. But regardless, it's $18. And if you haven't been to a game yet this year, they've kind of changed some things up. It's kind of interesting. They actually have a device that you put like your items on it, and it scans it. It was a trip. So Eddie and I bought some hot dogs and pizza and the beers or whatever, and you put them on this platform, and there's still an employee there, but it was a trip because it reads the picture somehow reads all the items and comes up with the price and everything. I thought that to me was a trip, Eddie.
Yeah, I was so amazed. It's like artificial intelligence or whatever. It's like it was just crazy to me. The price for the food and the beers wasn't cool. Like it was like $102. I was like, holy crap. I would suggest, too, don't buy the beef brisket. It was dry. It was terrible. It wasn't good at all. If I was at a restaurant, I probably would have sent it back. So if you guys are going to get food at Honda Center, which I'm not a fan of the food at Honda Center. I couldn't eat the food trucks. I'm not. I don't like Hispanic food. I know I'm like the world's worst, like half Hispanic. So I had to eat inside. The hot dog was pretty good, but the beef brisket was bad. But that technology is pretty cool. You just put your stuff down. It makes it run real smooth. It's fast. The people there were really helpful and nice and polite, so they helped us through the process. It was pretty cool. I was just a little amazed. And like I said, $18 beers.
Yeah,
Mike, too, you know what? A seltzer is a beer. It's like 5%. I had, the White Claw 8% ones that knocked me out on Friday. Yeah, it does the trick, so... And it's lower in calories, so I have to keep that weight off.
Oh, I feel you. Less carbs, less sugar for sure. So I'm all with it. I'm mad enough to drink it. I don't care.
I love White Claw. I'm drinking a White Claw Black Cherry right now, so it tastes delicious.
And I have a truly tropical punch seltzer that I'm drinking now. So if y'all think I'm girly, then have at it. But if you drink one of these and mix it with vodka, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll understand what I'm talking about then. It's a great mixed drink, I guess. But
I drank that with you in Arizona. I got all lit and broke one of your glasses accidentally, if you remember that.
I forgot about that. Now that you brought it up, that's right. You did. You broke a glass. Not a big deal. It wasn't a special glass, but you're right. You did. And oh man, that's pretty funny. You're right. But if you do that, if you do the Trulies with vodka and you mix it and you have a couple of those, man, you'll be set. Good times. Yeah. Good times.
It was fun though last time, Mike. That was a really good experience. We got to see Jen and her daughter too. That was good. Jen's really great person, nice. She's always full of energy and positivity. So it was good running into them and just all the fans. I ran into guys I play hockey with. I love the atmosphere. I love being at games. I love hockey. It was just a great experience. It was awesome, and I'm so glad they got the win. So Mike, they're 1-0. So if you guys want to start a GoFundMe to support me, Mike and myself going to road games to keep this win streak going, so be it. Go ahead. We're not going to object to it.
And we actually had a fan question from our buddy Tom in England that talks about that. I'll save it till the end, but he jokes about us going on the road and being a good luck charm, and we'll discuss it a little bit later in the show. But yeah, the Ducks are undefeated now when we're in attendance. Only one game, so hey, we'll take it for now. And I want to give a shout out to everybody too that's listening to this. At that game last night, the Ducks had lost 7 in a row, and I wasn't really sure what kind of crowd we were going to get. And it actually was a pretty packed house, and everybody was going nuts, especially in the third period. And we'll get to the game right now with these crazy calls. The Ducks had to beat the Leafs and the refs in that game. But, Eddie, I give the fans a lot of credit because I wasn't sure, having lost 7 games in a row, like what was the mood of the crowd going to be? And they were rocking last night. I mean, if you were there at the game, you guys were killing it. So, I mean, my hat's off to you.
Oh, yeah, the fans were great. Like, at first, when we got there for warm-up, we got there kind of early. It was kind of empty, so you were like, man, I wonder what the crowd's going to be like. And all of a sudden, everyone just flooded in, and they were yelling, screaming. It was like a roar. I was like, whoa, this is a good crowd for a Sunday afternoon, especially, afternoon-ish, 5 o'clock, but especially with the Ducks doing so bad. It's just, the fans were great. It was amazing. Everyone was having a good time. There was no drama. You know what? Leafs fans, too, were good. I was talking to a few of them when I was going out to buy beer or going to the restroom, messing around, talking to them, talking about Matthews. It was a really, really fun time. And what a game to be at. My first game of this season, and I couldn't ask for a better one. It was completely awesome, and the fans made it worth it. I'm hugging the guy next to me when the Ducks score. I don't even know who the hell he is. I'm over here hugging him like, yeah! It was just a really fun environment. So man, you couldn't ask for a better night.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if you remember, too. You were high-fiving everybody on the way out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so if you're saying that seltzer's not a real beer, it got me really drunk last night, so I guess it did its job. But yeah, it was fun. Everyone was having a good time. Everyone left with smiles out. It was awesome. I'm high-fiving Leafs fans, too, out of respect. We all cheer for hockey. We're a little tight-knit community, so it was cool. You scared the crap out of me, though, Mike. That was the only thing that was going to downfall. My heart dropped when I saw you drop.
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about it now. I was going to talk about the game first, but screw it. Might as well talk about it now since you brought it up. We were excited, Eddie and I, after the game, and let's just say I got really excited, and I may have jumped too high and hit the ceiling and fell down, and some stuff happened. So yeah, if you're familiar with Honda Center, some of the stairways when you go down, there's that little beam at the bottom right before the landing. Well, my dumbass was hopping down the stairs, which my better half tells me not to do, but you know what? I just do it anyways, and I was all happy that they had won. So I clipped the bill of my hat on that, and it landed flat on my back, and I'm totally fine. My back was a little bit sore, but no broken bones, nothing. I think I got lucky because I landed on that middle landing in between the levels, but man, I felt like such an idiot after that. I was like, oh my God, what a dumb ass going out. So just note to self, when you're going down the stairs, just watch that little beam. I've noticed, been there for years. I've always known to avoid it. And, after 20 plus years of going to Duck games, I finally clipped myself on it. But I was okay. A big thud, but I landed flat on my back, thank God. And that's how excited I was, though, because we were going to walk out, and I was hopping down the stairs all excited, and then Eddie sees me go kaboom, and it's like, oh, shit. And then I just sat there looking at the ceiling going, really? So I'm fine, just a little sore today, but I got so excited about the Ducks that I decided to try and knock myself out, Eddie.
I was like so inebriated where I couldn't even react to even try to to stop your fall or anything. But shout out to that one fan too. I don't know his name, but he came in and he offered his help when he saw Mike fall, so that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could jump if you're as short as me. I guess it's a short man's problem, only 5'8", so it's like cool. I can jump and be cool. Mike, you're way taller than me, so when you jump, you jump higher. But yeah, that scared the crap out of me. And I heard that thump. I'm like, oh my god, like what do I do? I kind of froze, and I helped you up. And I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad nothing. It was nothing serious. But yeah, we're just both excited about the win. I couldn't. My adrenaline was up when I got home. I was like, you know what? I'm about to go to the dive bar down the street. I want to drink more. I want to have fun. I was like, nope. My mind like, no, I drank enough already. I'm gonna go to sleep, take my melatonin, and just kind of crash out, watch a movie. I watched that movie, Let's Be Cops. If you guys haven't seen the movie, it's so funny, especially when you're drinking. It's even more funnier.
Yeah, you're right, and that'll happen too sometimes. You'll watch more stuff and have fun when you're a little bit buzzed up. But we were super excited. And just so you all know, we didn't drive home. We're smart. We're responsible. No. We yes, Eddie and I do like to party hard, but Uber Lyft on the way home. That's what we did. So just so y'all know, we don't get, whenever we do that, we don't get that crazy like that. So
well, I live in Laverne too. If you guys don't know that, I live in the Laverne area. I took an Uber to Mike's house, Uber back. I know it was expensive. It wasn't that bad, like $35 pretty much both ways. So I spent about $70 on it. But, it's better than be irresponsible and drive. I'm not trying to lecture anyone, but just be smart about it. Like, if you're going to drink and have a good time, just it doesn't hurt to just call an Uber or Lyft or get somewhere responsible. Like, I live down the street from a dive bar. Sometimes I'll just walk when the weather is, like, permitted. I don't drink and drive. I'll call an Uber wherever I can. It's safer, and you don't have to think about that. And I mean, I'm putting other people's lives in jeopardy if I wanted to do that. But yeah, Uber, Lyft, you guys, way to go.
All right, now that we've gone full circle on this, we haven't even talked about the game. We'll get to the game. I mean,
know.
What a wild one. It started out not so great for the Ducks. You had Austin Matthews scoring on the power play right away. You did have Silverberg, who's been heating up a little bit lately. He got his third on the season, and then Toronto got another goal late in the end of the first period. So they were up 2-1, and that held true through the second period. And then things looked bad in the third period because the Ducks gave up a shorthanded goal, and they were down 3-1. Then there was a questionable penalty shot as well that they were awarded, and it looked like Gibson made the save, or maybe the puck was shot a little bit high, but either way, they didn't score. It could have been 4-1 at that point. Probably would have put the game away. They did not convert, so they held the 2-goal advantage. Ducks stormed back. You have Zegras with a nice backhand goal. You have Kulikov with a wraparound goal. Next thing you know, the game is tied. And then Vetrano scores, and we think it's the game winner. They review it in Toronto, call goalie interference, and it's taken away. Another questionable call. But luckily, the Ducks ended up winning, not regulation, in overtime. Zegras with the nice laser there, and they were able to pull it off, get 2 points in the losing streak, which was the bigger thing. But what did you think about this game, Eddie? I mean, a lot of emotion. Obviously, the Ducks played much better in the second half. Third period, they could have been down and out. They came back and rallied, what was awesome to see. But there were a lot of questionable calls in here. There was also Grant, was hauled down at the end of the second period. They didn't give him a penalty shot. But then you saw a similar play, and Toronto gets a penalty shot. And then the goalie interference. What did you think about all that? I mean, it felt like the Ducks had to battle the refs and the Leafs to win this one.
Yeah, I think the refs got pissed off because Honda Center is charging $18 per beer, and they're taking it out on the team. But yeah, it was really a lot of questionable calls, and Grant should have been awarded a penalty shot for that. So it sucked. But the hockey gods spoke, and the hockey gods gave the Ducks a win. Kulikov's wraparound goal too. That was amazing. That was awesome. I lost my mind after that one. I'm really glad that Zegras kind of stepped up. Like he's just. Man, I'm so against giving young kids that C, but the way his game has been played, the way he holds himself, and the way he really stepped up yesterday and took charge of the situation and won the game for it, and his interview after that, it's just this kid is just going up and up and up. He's really good. I love this kid. I think the Ducks that no goal call, I think that was BS. It went off the other defenseman's skate and it went in or something like that. It should have been a goal. I don't know what the hell the refs' problem is, and that's just getting annoying. Like, it's just a constant thing with the referees just blowing games like this, and it's just not just happening with the Ducks. It's happening like all around the league. Like, something has to change with that. Like, I don't understand why. Like, our commissioner is seeing this and letting this happen each and every season. It's just it's kind of BS.
Yeah, I didn't like a lot of the calls. I mean, if the Grant one wasn't a penalty shot, he got the penalty fine. But then the one that Kerfoot had, it shouldn't have been a penalty shot for him because he was able to get that shot off when he was hooked. But I thought it was interesting because one of the guys for the Athletic, Cam Sharon, he brought this point up during the game that, well, the Ducks might have wanted the penalty shot instead because the penalty kill's been so bad. It's like all or nothing on the penalty shot. They don't get it. Instead of the Ducks being shorthanded for, up to at least 2 minutes, unless they gave up another goal, and they could have, that could have happened. They could have lost because the Ducks penalty kill has been terrible, and we'll talk about the special teams and what's going on when we get to the whole team update with the stats and stuff after we do the recaps. But I thought that was an interesting take. Was, hey, maybe the Ducks did want the shootout and instead of being shorthanded again, because they did give up a power play goal in this one, and they gave up a shorthanded goal when they had the power play. So, I mean, the special teams the Ducks have just been getting killed with that. But more so, I thought the Vertrano goal being called back was complete BS. We posted the overhead, which is great being at the game because we're able to get those little shots that the Ducks are able to provide. And you can see in there, Henrique's in the front battling it out. He doesn't push the Toronto player into the goalie at all. He's standing there. To me, there was zero goalie interference. It looked like the goalie saw the screen and he went down early to protect down low, and then obviously the puck ricocheted off the skate and in. I thought it was a good goal, and I thought it was really unfortunate. And what was funny too is you had gotten that puck before the game signed by Vertrano, and we were going to give it away because he was going to score a goal, and he had that goal. It was taken away. We're still giving it away, by the way. It's on Twitter right now. We've been retweeting it. We'll announce the winner shortly. But just a weird third period. I thought there was a lot of stuff that could have gone wrong, could have gone bad. And the best part of it, though, was the Ducks fighting back. And like you talked about, Zegras took charge. He got that goal to get him back within 3-2, then took that snipe in overtime. And, I mean, man, what... That game and then obviously the first game against Seattle, man, just some, I hope we get more games like this, Eddie.
Oh, yeah, and Zegras had some guy on, I think it was Rasmus Sundin was on him, on his grill, and he got that shot off and scored. It was just like, well, you saw the pure excitement and joy from his face, finally we got this win. The Ducks battled really hard. I know we both commented on how the game at the first half was kind of boring. The Ducks just seemed like they were flat-footed, they weren't playing well. Of course, I'm talking crap about Austin Matthews only having 2 goals in the season, and he has to go and score the first goal. And go figure, it's right in my face. But like I said before, I'm really glad that Zegras stepped up, and you just see this kid's level of play just keep elevating. I mean, players are playing him harder than they were last season, and he keeps rising to the occasion, rising to the challenge, and he keeps getting better and better. He knows what to do. He's so smart with the puck, the way he moves. Man, it's great. It's great that he stepped up. He's I think he leads the Ducks in goals now, correct, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. And he's just going to only keep getting better and better. That kid's we got to really gem on that, on the draft. You never know drafting these players, and I'm really glad we got him. I'm looking forward to meeting him sometime. I've been a little busy a few times they had events, but yeah, he's really good for the Ducks, and I'm glad that we got him. And I want Terry's been kind of slowing down a little bit. He kind of cooled down, but I expect him to start heating up too. He's top talent in the league. He has that potential, and he's gonna be a superstar. He's just rising to that occasion. It's good. It sucks right now because the Ducks are doing so bad, but I have so much hope and potential for this team. They're only gonna get better and better. I just want them to improve on those special team stats and improve in everything. And then I'll throw this out there. I think a coaching change is going to be needed sometime in the near future. I don't think Akins will be the coach come after this season.
Yeah, I mean, I'll save that till later because we had more fan questions from you guys asking about that. But as far as you talked about with the scoring, I guess our scary stat for Halloween is Zegras and Terry have 10 combined goals. Like you mentioned, Zegras leads the team. He's got 6. Terry's got 4. But the scary part is the rest of the team combined only has 10 goals. That is not good for this team. You can't just rely on Terry and Zegras. It's like going back in time and relying on Solani and Korea in the Mighty Duck days. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but you're not going to win a lot of games, especially if you have them on the same line and the other team shut them down. That's not going to help out either. So, the other part, too, is talking about the lines that was kind of interesting. In this game and in the Vegas game, the Ducks went with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, and I know some of you asked questions about that. I might as well just talk about it now, but I really don't understand this whole logic of why they're doing that. People asked. I mean, I know the Ducks weren't doing as well on the shots on goal, and maybe Akins wanted to have more fresh defensemen out there. I mean, it kind of helped out in the Vegas game because that's where Drysdale got knocked out, and the Ducks had to go down to 6 defensemen in terms of having enough defensemen to play that game, even though obviously they lost 4-0 in that one. But, I don't really understand the logic, honestly. I mean, you've had Pavel Regendo's been doing pretty well, but they weren't playing him. I don't know why you didn't want to throw him in the mix. I'm just puzzled. I really don't know why they went with the 11-7 lineup in these last 2 games, Eddie. Is there anything you can think of why they did?
No, I don't know why teams do that. It throws off the balance of things. You have 7 defensemen. I don't know. I don't know what his thinking is. I don't know what this constant change in the lineup. Regenda should have been playing. I don't know why they kept scratching him. The Ducks obviously need offensive help. He worked his ass off in camp. He made the roster. You're not playing him. It's just for what I didn't see anything like the games I watched from his play that significantly made the team worse. It's like why would you do that? It's just weird with the coaching situation right now. I don't know if he's just getting desperate, his head's on the chopping block, but man, it's just some questionable moves coming. It makes me wonder if the Ducks are just tanking on purpose to get that first overall pick for Bedard.
Yeah, and some of you asked that question too, which we'll get to later in the show as well. I know you got to wonder what's going on, but yeah, leading up to this game, it was really rough. The Ducks had lost to Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Vegas. These are the games that we're talking about that we didn't on the last show. We had gone through the first 5 games. If you didn't check it out on the last show, but this time we're going through games 6 through 9, and they continued the losing streak. It was rough. They played Detroit, did not really have a good game in that one. Again, special teams, like you talked about, Detroit had 5 power plays. They scored on 3 of them. The Ducks had 4 power plays. They did not score at all, including a 5-on-3 chance that they had as well. There was also a situation where Gibson was called for 2 penalties on one sequence, which ended up hurting the Ducks, and Detroit got a goal. But I didn't think he deserved 2 penalties. Maybe 1, but I know that post got a lot of attention on Twitter. A lot of people commenting about that. It's just not a good game against Detroit. I didn't like what I saw in that one. Just the special teams play killed them. They got outshot again, which was an issue. Though the Ducks have been doing better in their shots. They outshot Vegas, they outshot Toronto, but they continue that trend of being outshot in Detroit. And then they played better in Tampa Bay and lost that game. But what did you think so far in the Detroit game? I mean, this one was a pretty rough one. I know Detroit's had our number, so to speak, but I really think in this one it was a special teams play that sunk the Ducks.
Oh yeah, it was bad. You know what? The credit to the Red Wings, they weren't supposed to be, I guess, that good, but they have a lot of players that are stepping up and taking, I guess, that next step and becoming the players that they're projected to be. So it's just you can't really give it that. Ducks were having a hard time already on the road. And it just goes to show it's like when you're down, you're down. And Detroit took advantage of that. Their players came ready to play. The Ducks didn't. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for the Ducks. I mean, 5-1 was kind of bad, though. It's just like, man, come on, do something. I thought the Ducks would make it more interesting if that was going to be maybe a 3-2, 2-1 kind of game. But Detroit came ready to play. Ducks didn't. That's what it is. And Ducks got their losing streak extended that time.
Yeah, and then they got it extended again. They had Tampa Bay that came to town. And the Ducks actually start off this one with the lead. Zegras actually scored in the first period. And then the Ducks had about 90 seconds of bad play. Tampa Bay got 2 goals, took a 2-1 lead. But Terry answered back, and it was 2-2 in the second. And it looked like this game might go to overtime. The Ducks actually played Tampa Bay pretty tight in terms of the score. The Lightning did have some chances to put the Ducks away. I know Stamkos had a chance to slam dunk a goal on the power play, and he missed. But the Ducks had an opportunity to at least get 1 point, despite kind of being outplayed on that puck possession. 5-on-5, Tampa Bay had some strong periods in there. But a late power play goal pretty much put it out of reach for the Ducks, and then they got that really last-minute empty net goal, which doesn't really matter. But Ducks lost 4-2, more so I would say 3-2, and unfortunate though because it's kind of the same thing. They gave up a power play goal, and you and I have talked about this, Eddie, too. Is Zegras and Terry are the ones doing the scoring, but nobody else. And I mean, you can't rely on that and try to go against a strong Tampa Bay team even at home and think you're going to get 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, they're Cup champions for a reason. They have a lot of firepower on their roster. They've been around. John Cooper's a really good coach. He knows how to shuffle his lines the right way and knows how to replace players on different lines. It's going to work. And they have that bond, too, with the Stanley Cup champions that they have. Brian Elliott, too, I was really surprised of being Mr. Backup. He played a really solid game, and he made some really solid saves. I think the Ducks could have had this game if it wasn't for him, and it's just... Yeah, people kind of count him out sometimes. Like he's kind of just a watered up backup goalie. He's been around the league. How many teams? Like 5 or 6 teams he played for. The last team he played for before Tampa Bay was Philly. But yeah, he came to play. He was really good. The Ducks actually didn't do that bad. They looked pretty good against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a lot of firepower and a lot of stars. They just unfortunately just couldn't get it done. And like you said, Mike, this game they pretty much lost it 3-2 minus that empty net goal.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the Ducks were fortunate if they were able to get a point out of this, so they ended up getting none. Unfortunately, I was hoping maybe they'd squeeze out one, despite some of the issues here and there throughout the game. But I felt that it wasn't a terrible game by the Ducks. Obviously, every game we've been talking about, there's been room for improvement. They haven't been able to put together like a complete game, and I still don't think they put together a complete game. I mean, I know they beat Seattle and Toronto, but they're also behind in those games, had to come back. So they haven't had a game yet where they've been firing on all cylinders, unfortunately. But this game, they ended up losing it to Tampa Bay. The streak kept going. Then they had Vegas, which they had an early game because it was Nevada Day, which is a holiday in the state of Nevada. So that's why that game against Vegas was at 3 o'clock. We had a watch party at Noble Ale Works, which, by the way, I don't know if we announced it on the last show or whatnot, but that's going to be our watch party location for the whole season. So whether it's a home game or away game, if you show up and you have your Ducks gear, they'll usually have some kind of a discount for you. So if you want to go and watch the Ducks, like I said, home or away during the game, they'll give you some type of deal. They had like $5 pints. They had like 10-20% off your bill, things like that. So something to check out. Very excited. Of course, we're 0-2 with watch parties so far this season, unfortunately. This is where the Ducks went also with that 11-7 lineup we talked about, and then they obviously did it again in the Toronto game. But this one, they actually outshot the Golden Knights, and that was all right. But again, the special teams, we keep harping on it, they had trouble with special teams. They gave up a power play goal early in this one. Also, another shorthanded goal. Got down 2-0, could not recover. Ended up losing this one. You had Gibson get pulled. Stolars came in the third period. And it was unfortunate. The Ducks lost this one. They got blanked 4-0. But the worst part of this was Drysdale getting hurt. And then, of course, we just learned as of today that he's going to be out for 4 to 6 months with a torn labrum or shoulder muscle. So insult to injury in here, Eddie. The Ducks had gotten to a 7-game losing streak now against Vegas, and now they lost to Drysdale. At the time we didn't know, but now we know potentially for the rest of the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a big blow. It's heartbreaking right there. That kid has a lot of potential. He's a really good defenseman. I said before, I think he was going to be like one of our top defensemen moving forward. Just the way he was progressing. It's unfortunate. It's I guess that's the way the game goes. That loss was bad. I was at work during this game. I wanted to join you at the watch party. I haven't been to the watch party yet, and I'm looking forward to going over there and checking it out. But even listening to the game was just horrific for me. And I had the game on too on my phone, but I wasn't watching. I was just listening to the game because I couldn't get the app to work. But yeah, just 11-7, or the whole 11-7 thing just wasn't working out. I guess it played dividends when Drysdale went down. He had 6 defensemen. But man, this was a bad game. The Ducks just didn't come ready to play. They just seemed like they were out of gas. I don't know, going to Vegas the day before, if they were just out gambling, drinking, or whatnot. It's man, that was really bad to watch. Speaking of Vegas, too, I want to give a shout out to Phil Kessel. I know he broke the Ironman record recently, too, when he played. I believe it was against the Sharks or something like that. I don't know what team he played for. But he broke the Ironman record. He's the new Ironman with 990 consecutive games played. He also scored his 400th goal at that same time. He opened up the scoring for the Golden Knights. So just want to give a shout out as just as a fellow hockey person. Knights beat us and stuff like that. But hey, congratulations to Phil Kessel on getting that Ironman record. I still think Cogliano should have had that. But we all know what happened against the Kings. So that bullshit call that George Peros, Mr. Princeton, made.
I was wondering if you were going to bring up Cogliano, and you just opened that wound up right away, man.
Yes,
I was like,
yes. I love Cogs. I love Cogs. So
I know. I felt the same way. I mean, I had nothing against Kessel. I mean, great. I'm happy for him and everything. But I was sitting there thinking, man, Cogliano got robbed. I'm like, come on. But yeah,
I even told you too. Kings fans were commenting on the Ducks&Pucks account saying that should not have been a suspension. It's like,
yeah,
the Kings fans were saying that shit.
Well, because we'll flash back here since it's Halloween, so you want to flash back to a horror event, I guess if you want to say, was you had Kempe where Cogliano was defending him, and basically Kempe's own stick hit him in the face, and that's what Cogliano got suspended for. So if you go back and you watch that play real carefully, you'll see that his own stick hits himself in the face. And that's what's even worse. It wasn't even Cogliano's stick that hit him. It wasn't even legit. Cogliano shouldn't even been fined. Shouldn't have even gotten anything. Nothing. Nothing. I mean, just ridiculous. But anyways, if you go back and watch it, you'll see what we're talking about. But yeah, so the Ducks at this point, they had lost those 7 games. Like I said, shout out to Noble Ale Works. My buddy Josh works there. So if you want to get discounts on stuff when you're there, make sure to wear Ducks gear while you're there watching the game. As now we're going to have a big partnership for them this season. We'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff throughout the season. Even if I'm not there, they'll be doing things and stuff. I'm not going to be there every single game, but definitely have been there for a couple. I'm going to try and make it out for a few more. So look forward to that. And the Ducks then, of course, turned it around. We already talked about Toronto. Getting that win, and now we'll basically talk about it's kind of our segment where we talk about the status of this team, or I guess we could call it the state of Anaheim section, or however you want to word this part of the podcast. But real quick, we're part of the Old City Sports Network, and if you're looking for good grooming needs, check out Norse Beards. To get your shave on and whatnot, it's norsebeards.com. And you can use the code OCS for a discount there as well. So check them out. And also thanks to Jesse and everything that he's doing at Old City Sports Network. A lot of stuff been coming down the pipe that we'll talk about in upcoming shows and whatnot. But let's get to this next segment of the show. We talked about the games. Let's talk about the Ducks and where they're at now in terms of their stats and then the updates and what's going on with the Ducks. A lot of news in the last 48 hours or so, whatnot about the team. But looking at the Ducks, they've started to do a little bit better. They're up to 27 shots on goal per game, and they're finally dropped it a little bit on the against. It's 37, still not great, still a 10 goal shot differential. But hey, they outshot Vegas. They outshot Toronto. So, they're starting to do, some headway there. They're not scoring as much as they did earlier in the season. They're at 2.2 goals per game, and they're giving up 4.22 against. They were giving up over 5, so that's gotten a little bit better and worse depending on how you look at that. But they're still kind of at that 2-goal differential. They've gotten a little bit better on their puck possession on the Corsi 4 and Fenwick 4. They're at 44.5 and 42.03. Still not great numbers. Still below 50. You want to be over 50%. You want to have that puck more in control of the play. But the big part, I think, and we've already talked about this in the show, Eddie, has been the special teams play and how disappointing it's really been. The Ducks started out strong on the power play, but now they have not scored since game 1. They're only at 7.7% efficiency, bottom of the league. Penalty kill 63.6%. And we talked about the scoring, Terry and Zegras, the ones leading the way, but the rest of the team is not contributing. So a lot of stuff going on here to unpack with the Ducks. A lot of you are still concerned, obviously, about what's going on with the team. What do you think, Eddie? We kind of talked about in these games. It seems like the Ducks have kind of made some strides here and there, but obviously still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole digression was on special teams for the Ducks. Like last season they did well, and they were doing way better, and this season they're just like I don't know. They're shooting the puck more. I noticed that yesterday. They were shooting the puck a lot more. The few games we were watching, they're shooting more. It just I don't know. Those shots aren't the quality shots. They're making some of these goaltenders look like they're superstars when they're not. I mean, Brian Elliott, yeah, I'll give him that. He played a hell of a game, but they could have easily beat him. He's not that good of a goaltender. He's like, maybe a backup goaltender at the best. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, if it wasn't for Columbus not scoring a single power play goal this season, the Ducks would be dead last, and they're the 31st in the league right now on special teams on the power play. Like, something has to change. And Aikens, I don't know what's going on with him and why he's not trying to do something different. We have guys on the goals that can come up and bring that like spark of energy. It's frustrating to watch. Like, I understand that we're going through a rebuild, and I get that, and I will support this team. I told you, number one, I told you if they go 0-82, I'll still support the team, but I want to see improvement. I want to see something going on, and I always want it for this team to improve on every aspect of the game. And it seems like they're digressing from last season, so I don't know like what it is. And I told you too, Mike, I think it's the whole lack of like true leadership on this team. You have to have someone that's going to be a voice, someone that's going to have that see and represent the Ducks and bring people up. And hey, like, you know what, call a team meeting, just a players only meeting. Like, hey, get your head out of your a-holes and let's start play some solid hockey. Like, yeah, I know we're not as I guess good as some other teams. We don't have the star and firepower as other teams, but hey, you know what? Have some pride and play with some confidence and stuff like that. And just this whole rotating A's, I think that's kind of the issue that's going on with the team. And I think the Ducks really need that true leadership to establish. I told you last night too, Mike, I really missed Getzlaf, and Getzlaf, it seemed like the Ducks got their heart and soul ripped out of the team when Getzlaf retired, and no like bad to him. Like, he deserves it. He worked his ass off. He helped us bring a Stanley Cup. I'm glad he retired. He's spending time with his family and doing that. But man, we had a really huge gap to fill, and it's not being filled. And no one will ever replace Getzlaf, but we have to have someone wearing that C to really truly lead this team and get them out of the funk they're in.
You said it, I couldn't have said it any better myself. And yeah, we did talk about that in the last show as well. And I thought it was interesting. I was reading some of the articles today, and the Ducks had a team meeting on Saturday after the Vegas game. And then obviously before the Toronto one, and they pulled it out and won. A lot of heart-to-heart discussions and honest talk about what's going on and who's doing what or not doing what. The players are kept it in the locker room. They didn't really reveal the specifics of what was being said, but I'm really curious, like you talked about, Eddie, too, is who's the leader in that locker room, player-wise? Who is the one that's stepping up and like, hey, we can do this, or yada, yada, yada? I mean, is it Terry and Zegras that are trying to go step up? Is it, we know Silverberg and Henrique Fowler, they're the ones that have worn the A. They've had that presence before. I'm really curious how they're going to shake all that out, because to me, I still think that's part of this issue is you don't have someone with a C on there. And on top of that, if you're going with the 3 alternates, as we talked about, but then you rotate them or change them up, I mean, I'm just not a big fan of that. I'm more of a fan of stability amongst the leadership of this team. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, of course, we don't know. We're not in the locker room. We'll never know, right? We're not there. We're not with the team day to day. But you don't have that outward appearance of like, hey, these are the guys that are the ones running the show, or they're the ones with the alternate captaincy or whatever. I mean, I would want them to pick one and stick with it, which it seems like they may not wait till the end of the season, according to Verbeek, or maybe not even until next season. It doesn't seem like he's in a big rush. But if that's the case, then I would be like, okay, these are the guys that are going to be the alternates, and figure it out and stick with them going forward. I think that's been part of the concern. And yeah, the special teams has been very disappointing. The Ducks started out better last season on special teams. Then it kind of it tailed off as the season went on, but they were still better overall than they were the year before. So now it seems like the special teams is regressed. The power play, they're just not scoring. The penalty kill, it's like hit or miss. Some nights they're able to shut down the other team, and then most nights they're still giving up 1 or 2 goals. So that's a huge part of it. And we'll talk about the updates too. A lot of stuff that we mentioned. The Ducks defense took a huge blow. Drysdale is now out 4 to 6 months. Could be the season after that bad hit that he took in Vegas. It wasn't a dirty hit, but just the way he landed into the boards and everything hurt his shoulder. And the Ducks got to figure out what to do on defense now, because their top 4 is Fowler, Klingberg, Kulikov, and Shattenkirk. And then you're rotating in those other guys like Benoit and White and etc. I mean, that's what you're going to do for the defense. I mean, that's a tough road for the Ducks. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get much better. I mean, I'm glad they beat Toronto and they had a big powwow and everything like that. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do. They did sign Jared Hilderman to PTO in the goals, so I'm wondering if they're going to bring somebody up from down there, like Hellison or Healy or Axel Anderson. I don't know. Are they going to try and bring up one of those guys, or what's the plan, Eddie? Because the special teams and the defense, it's going to need some help moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the Ducks are doing. I think, what's cool about Verbeek, he has no emotional attachments to players. He's our brand new GM. This is his first year being like the full GM, not just coming in mid-season. So, I mean, when things go wrong, I kind of trust him that he's going to do something to shake up the roster and get things going. Like I said, I hate to say that sometimes, I hate to wish someone would get fired, but it seems like Aikens, he's a great guy. He develops players really well, but I mean, obviously it didn't work in Edmonton with him. He had a stellar roster over there, and it's not working over here anymore. And the way he keeps changing things up too quick, it's not working. Something has to change. The mentality from the Ducks atmosphere has to change, and I think it's maybe time for him to go. Like get someone else that can come in. I know Barry Trotz is available. He's the most defensive-minded coach. He helped the Capitals win a Stanley Cup, but I mean, our defense is bad right now. He could probably help our players develop more. I mean, he wants to come back in coaching, but he's interested in coaching for an original 6 team, so I'm not sure if he'll be an option. He would want to come to Anaheim and help us out, but it just something has to change in the atmosphere. We have to get better. I was talking to our DucksNPucks group chat. One of the players from San Diego, Nicholas Bouillard, he has 8 points in 6 games at defenseman. He had 131 penalty minutes last season, so he's, I don't know, with him, why not sign this guy? And then Thomas, our awesome freaking writer, agreed. Why not just sign him and try to see if he can help us out on defense and be that spark. They tried him out as a left wing too, and he, it worked and paid dividends. Something has to change. What the Ducks are doing isn't working. The Ducks barely squeaked past Toronto when Toronto was really struggling, and Toronto didn't play their A game. Yeah, Matthews scored, but he wasn't playing his full potential game. Something was off with him. Something has to change, and I think Verbeek is gonna hopefully make a decision soon and shake up something in this roster or the coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that right now. We'll talk. Let's talk about the coaching for a little bit. and then we'll actually talk after that about potential trades, maybe. But yeah, in terms of the coaching staff, we had some of you had CarLife2003 on Instagram asked, what will happen to Akins in the near future. We had Hey, it's Chris also on Instagram asking, how soon until a new assistant coaches are in to fix the defense. So some of those questions you guys, are wanting to know about the coaching situation or whatnot. Honestly, I don't think that they're going to do anything with Dallas Akins. I really don't. I mean, his contract's up at the end of the season. I'm not saying I agree with this, but I don't think they're going to move him unless like something drastic happens. I mean, yes, the Ducks lost 7 in a row. If they go on another like huge losing streak, like 8, 9, 10 games or something, maybe. I'm with Eddie though. I don't think in the long term that Dallas is the answer for this team. I just don't. I don't see it. But I don't know. It seems like Verbeek's kind of high on him and wants to ride it out. So I don't really think there's going to be any changes in the coaching staff. I don't see it, at least right now. And it's not to say that, hey, the Ducks all of a sudden start tanking big time and then they're like, oh crap, we have to do something. But I'm with you, Eddie. I mean, there's some guys out there that you could go get and throw on this team and do that. But I don't know. I just don't see Verbeek doing it unless something crazy happens, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, we had to write it out. Next year's draft's supposed to be really deep. A lot of good players. Bedard's supposed to be a generational player, kind of a Crosby, McDavid kind of player that can change something. Ducks have never had a first overall. I'm sure the league's probably going to screw over the Ducks and give it to a team that they wanted to give it to. And I'm not trying to be conspiracy theory, but I think it's kind of weird that the whole NHL will kind of do it behind closed doors, but then show, I don't know, it's weird how the draft goes. I wish they would just do it in front of everyone, have a live feed so all the fans can see, so there's no conspiracy theories, but man, it's going to be rough. And the way the Ducks have been playing, it's going to be rough. I'm glad that Toronto game that we went to, we got a win. It was something to celebrate. And like I said, like you said too, Mike, a shout out to all the fans. Like the Ducks were doing really terrible and atrocious, I would say. But the fans were there. They were loud. They were proud. Everyone was just. It was a good vibe last night. It was cool. So I hope next game we go to, it's going to be the same situation. But I'm not going to hold my breath on the Ducks turning around and being this top player team. I said before, I think the Ducks are in line to get at least a top 5 overall draft pick. So we got to just hold our breath and see. My question is Verbeek going to trade Gibson? Because Gibson's the biggest trade piece we have, and we can get so much value for him. I have nothing against Gibson. I think he's a fantastic goaltender. I think he's one of the best in the league. But if you really want to accelerate this whole rebuilding process, do you trade him? Like that's the whole question that Verbeek has to ponder on his mind.
Yeah, that leads us into our next segment, talking about the trades and whatnot. And real quick, just another one of our sponsors. If you're looking for a good multivitamin, check out zstacklife.com. They have regular vitamins and gummy vitamins as well. And if you use the code Mike, you get a discount as well. So Z-Stack for life. So check it out. But all right, to the trade thing that you were talking about, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people asking questions about that too. We had Chris J. Campos. He says, this is likely a down year. Should the Ducks trade some players? Who? Adam T-Town. What would a future trade be for the Ducks if they want to get their feet wet before the deadline? Obviously, you mentioned Gibson. That's a name that comes up. And I'm curious about that too because, what's the plan down the road for this team? If the plan is to ride with Gibson all the way, then okay, that's the plan. But if that's not the plan, then is it Stolarz that's going to be the guy? Is it Drysdale that's going to be the guy? If they're not the guy and they want to trade Gibson for another goalie, I mean, they got to figure something out with that. What are they going to do? Because those rumors with Gibson, it kind of went crazy the last 2 seasons, really last season. But that's one that you could look at. Another one we talked about before was Fowler was a name that's been mentioned back and forth through a bunch, times, and people wonder about that. And another one I threw in there lately, one that's been disappointing of the new people that have come along has been Klingberg. He's not I was excited to get him, and now I'm just not. After watching him a lot, I've been watching him in particular a lot more during the game, like focusing on him more. And he's just too soft on the puck. He's been turning it over. I didn't expect him to play stellar defense, but he's not even helping out in the power play. I mean, the whole thing was to get him on there with Zegras and to make that power play into a goal producing machine, and he hasn't. So. I would think Klingberg would be gone at the trade deadline. Get some picks or get another defenseman or heck, try it now if you want to. I don't know. I think that they've got to move on from him for sure. Gibson, it just really depends. Like, what's the plan with this team? Are we going to ride him out for a while, or are we going to look towards the younger guys coming up, or what are we going to do with that? So. I think personally the Ducks should try to make some kind of trade soon, because with Drysdale out now, we also know Vakanainen's probably going to be out for a while. There's been literally no news on him. I don't know if he got a concussion or if it was his back or his neck or all the above, but when you slam into the boards like that, it's usually something in that area. So, they're both gone. It seems like for a while. I mentioned the Ducks' top four is Fowler, Klingberg, Kulikov, and Shattenkirk. And even Shattenkirk's not been playing so hot either, unfortunately. He's been making some mistakes too. So the Ducks' defense right now is suffering. So that's what I'm looking at. What do you think? You think the Ducks should try to make any kind of trades, or at least start looking, or what do you think? Just try to ride it out and tank for Bernard.
I have no idea. I want to make a trade. I want them to make a trade so we can talk about more things. But it's is that really going to help the Ducks right now? It's just the Ducks are just in that gray area. They're just struggling, and they have to get new coaching staff. They have to get something and let these players develop and be better. We have a lot of players in the pipeline. I think the Ducks. I was reading an article. Ducks are ranked number 2 or 3 as the top prospects in the league. Zegras can fill his role of being that superstar he's projected to be. But it's crazy right now. It sucks, but we have to just kind of roll with it and ride with it. Like I said, I don't think Aikens is going to be a good coach to coach this team to a Stanley Cup champion. I think he's great at developing players, and he'll be a great AHL coach, probably one of the best AHL coaches you can have. But it's not clicking. It's not working. Something's wrong with the Ducks. There's something off, and something has to change. And Verbeek has to figure it out. Make some trades. Do something significant. But, man, you know what, Mike? I think what we talked about yesterday. When you win that $1 billion on Powerball, you can buy the team and you can figure out how to change this team to get back to their winning ways.
I know, we joked about that before when it was the $bazillion one last time.
You know what, guys, fans? I was upset with Mike yesterday because, I thought Mike, if he bought the team, he would, sign me to actually play for the Ducks. He's like, nope, I would have signed you for social media. I'm like, damn it, dude. Well, what about playing? He goes, nope, social media. Damn.
Yeah, I'd put you on social media, but hey, I'd throw you out there on the ice.
Yes.
You could go out there.
One shift. That's
One
it.
shift. You could be the Rudy of hockey.
I'll take that.
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, I did put down a couple players that I was looking at, because Adam T-Town asked about certain targets the Ducks could look at, and for me, I want them to keep progressing, and of course it's not just about winning, but also at the same time we've got some voids to fill here on the defense. Like I said, Vakanainen and Drysdale out. Are we going to rely on Gibson every night? Which that's a whole other issue. I don't know why Stolars isn't starting more of these games. That kind of irritates me. But I took a look at some defensemen around the league, not necessarily stay-at-home defensemen, but guys that shut down the other team. Because I don't feel like any of our current guys on the on the blue line shut anybody down. I think we've got some good guys and some good two-way defensemen, but we don't have any more Josh Mansons out there. No Hampus Lindholms, that type. We don't have that. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have traded him, but I'm just saying we don't have those kind of guys. So a couple names that I looked at throughout there. I was kind of looking at prices and whatnot. The Ducks still have a lot of cap space, but these are just some names I've thrown out there. Not saying that it's going to happen or anything, but if the Ducks want to prove, the defense, they just played Toronto. Obviously they have some issues on the blue line with injuries, but if they're willing to trade people, maybe you look at a TJ Brody on their team. Yeah, but Nick Jensen in Washington, Ryan Lindgren in New York. Christopher Tanev in Calgary, and Keandre Miller, young upcomer in New York, a real cheap contract, 1.275 and RFA until 2023. But all these other contracts are, the 2.5 to 3-4 million range in there, whatnot. Brody's on the higher end at 5, but those are just some that. Not that the Ducks would make the trade for any of them, but they're realistic options, I guess you would say, if the other teams are willing to trade. But I think the Ducks, what they need is they need someone that can shut down the opposition, and they just don't really have that. So these are some of the guys that I threw out there that I just kind of looked at real quick that aren't going to cost an arm and a leg, and not that they're available or anything like that, but I'm just saying that's what I think the Ducks need to do. They need to try to go and get somebody. And I don't know if they had to make Fowler as part of the trade or Klingberg or something like that, because I feel for Gibson right now, if we're going to roll with this defense, we're going to lean on Gibson a lot. So I first off think that Stolar should get more starts. That's your first fix. And then 2, if you know that Vakanainen's also going to be out for a while, I would try and do something, because otherwise you're going to have to look at bringing somebody up from the goals. And that's where we're at. And I mean, nothing against those guys, but none of those guys are shut down defensemen either down there, Eddie.
Yeah, Keandre Miller, I'm glad he brought him up. He's a really good defenseman. He skates really well. He's up and coming. He had his big break when Tony DeAngelo got cut from the team last season, and he really ran with it. He would be something the Ducks would really need. He's young, like you said too, Mike, earlier. And he would be instantly our top 4, if not our top defenseman, top 2 defenseman. He has that potential. But then looking at New York's roster, I don't see what we can offer them for a trade. Like, I think they want him. Yeah, he makes only $1.27 million this season, but he's up for a raise. I could see him getting $4 to $5 million for the next term of his contract. His ceiling is high, and what these rookies are getting now for what they're producing is just kind of crazy. Teams are offering rookies just the highest contracts and the highest amount of money for their potential, not for what they've done. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I guess times are changing in the NHL, and that's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, Ducks have to find something that can help their defensive core. Their defensive core is not that well. I know Cam Fowler takes a lot of shit, but I'm still a fan. I like his play. He works his ass off. Maybe a change of scenery might be helpful, and it might help and benefit the Ducks and himself. I think he's one of the potentials to be the next captain of the Ducks too. So I'm kind of a hit or miss on that. But I mean, obviously Verbeek has to do something in the upcoming weeks, especially with Jamie Drysdale going down. We have to do something, and we have to make a trade and shake something up. You can't just go with this defensive core. You can't have Gibson facing 40+ shots tonight. It's just gonna get old. He's gonna get hurt, or he's just gonna get tired of it. You know what? I have no defense helping me. I want to trade. Get me out of here. Yes, I think trading Gibson would kind of push the Ducks up significantly on the rebuild. But do you want to really lose a goalie like Gibson on the term and contract he has and his potential and his ceiling, especially if you want to compete for a Stanley Cup in the next few years? That's kind of like a hit or miss. But something has to change, and I hope Verbeek does something soon.
Yeah, the last couple things that the team has done recently is they sent Regenda down to San Diego, which I wasn't a fan of, and they brought up Glenn Godin, who's actually got 6.
Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. Sorry.
They brought up Godin, who's got 3 goals, 3 assists in 7 games in San Diego. So they switched those 2 guys around. I thought maybe they try to send Leeson down, but Leeson has to clear waivers, so I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of him getting picked up, which I doubt he would. But those are kind of the recent moves that they did. I mentioned they got Jared Hilderman from that PTO on the goals, so maybe they're going to bring up a defenseman from San Diego. And they also Carrick's getting close to coming back. He's skating with the team. He's on loan for conditioning down in San Diego, probably for a week or 2, and then hopefully he'll be back. So that'll be some good news, at least on the forward front and whatnot. But that's all the stuff that's gone on recently. So yeah, I mean, just hopefully the Ducks, try and do something, because I mean, now with Drysdale out, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could bring up someone from the goals and just try and ride it out, but I'm kind of worried about that. I'd rather see the Ducks try and get a move and pick up another defenseman. So we'll keep our eye on that. in the next week or so, before we do our next show. But as we wind it down, we got a little bit more jersey talk here that we'll talk about. Another sponsor, don't forget, is Bucked Up for your pre-workout powder and energy. If you go to buckedup.com and use the code DucksNPucks93, you can get a discount. So check that out if you're looking for some workout type stuff. All right, as we get towards the end here, more jersey stuff. Everyone loves to talk about jersey stuff, and we kind of have a little bit of breaking news.
It's so popular too. Tom on our fan on Tom. Shout out to Tom. He tweeted me saying I should post my whole jersey collection, so I'm gonna do that. So be on the lookout for that. I'll post it on Ducks and Pucks. And also too, I want to say, if you guys know any sponsors, or if you have a business or something you wanna just talk to and collaborate, just let us know. Send us a DM and we can work something out. I live in Laverne area. I know Laverne Brewing Company. There's one of the owners that listens to our podcast too. So if you want to, I guess, try to have a watch party with people over here in my area in Laverne, let me know and we can work something out and talk to Mike and we can make it happen. I can connect more fans and we can just watch a game and have fun and have some good vibes.
Yeah, exactly. If you know anybody else that wants to, we got some good sponsors from Old City Sports Network and some on our own as well. So we're trying to build it up and keep it going. So we appreciate the ones that we have already. Obviously, just always trying to do more and bigger things. But with the jerseys again, you're right. I forgot too. You did post your thing about which jersey you were going to wear on Twitter before going to the Toronto game, and that got a lot of people talking.
Oh yeah, you retweeted it on Ducks and Pucks, and people were talking oh, wear this, wear that one. I went with all black yesterday because I guess it's Day of the Dead, and I don't really understand what it is, but I just figured we're all black. It's gonna be cool, but it worked out. I love my military jersey, so it's cool.
Yeah, and I wore my black All-Star one from when they played in San Jose.
And we matched. It was awesome.
Yeah, we actually did. I was trying to make it close, so we were pretty close. So we had the white Ducks logo and then black jerseys. Kind of good for Halloween type weekend. But a couple things with the jerseys came up. One of them, it just kind of got posted by Adidas. And, the Ducks are right around the corner here from going to their 30th year. But it looks like they're going to bring back the Mighty Ducks jersey from the movie for the team. I don't know if that's just going to be a special third jersey or like the 25th anniversary. Maybe they'll just kind of wear it for a couple games. But they're bringing it back, Eddie. It's pretty obvious from the short video that's on Twitter that they're posting. But what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's kind of beating a dead horse. Come on. I know Adidas is gone after this season. We're going to have a new jersey sponsor coming up. The NHL decided not to renew their contract with Adidas. Yeah, it's kind of, like I said, kind of beating a dead horse. Okay, we get it. The jerseys are awesome, but what you're going to charge fans for those jerseys too, it's just, I guess it's a money ploy, I believe. I'm talking crap, Mike. I've been talking crap about $18 beers, but I'm probably going to buy one anyways. Damn, I'm a jersey person, so.
You know how I am, too. I'm the same way. I'm horrible.
I'm over here talking crap, and I'm gonna end up giving them my money.
I'm the same way. I'm curious, though, because in there they show the green jersey, then they also, show... Bombay, too. So, yeah, I'm curious if they're going to have both, or... Is it just a marketing thing? They're just going to sell it, or will it be like the 25th anniversary jersey? So we know it's coming back. We just don't know exactly what kind of form that's coming in. So that's something to look forward to next year. Now with this season, they came out with basically the Mighty Ducks jersey from the beginning, but they did it in the newer colors, which overwhelmingly most of you love and support. But we had the Mighty jerseys asked us, and I don't know if people were aware of this, but they're saying that in the press release that the Ducks put out that they're going to have orange pants when they skate with the reverse retro jersey. I don't know. I'd have to see it, because the Mighty jerseys. He asks us, what's our thoughts. I don't think it's bad, but I gotta see it. I'm kind of curious because if you go with black pants, I guess, but then the orange and white, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't look good, so maybe that's why they're going with the orange pants. I don't know. What do you think, Eddie? I'm going to have to see it to really make a final decision.
I don't like it. I don't like the orange pants. Wear black pants. I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan too. My second favorite team. They have those like light baby blue pants too. I don't like them at all. Like, wear black. Like the jersey will look better and it'll pop more if you wore the black pants. You're gonna wear orange. It's just too much orange. We're not Philadelphia. Like, come on. Like, just do something better. Like, you have I want to say that Ducks have one of the best reverse retro jerseys, or they do have the best jerseys right now when they come out. But you're gonna put orange pants? Like, what next? Orange gloves, orange helmets, orange play? Like, damn, come on.
That was my thought. You actually took what I was going to say next. I was going to say, what about orange helmets? Because, like the Kings have that silver helmet.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
Vegas has the gold one. You know what I mean? Like, if they had orange helmets too, oh my, that I would probably say no to. Orange helmets, I wouldn't be a fan. The orange pants, I don't know. I got to see it. I don't know. I kind of feel how you are, but I don't know. I gotta visualize it, like, and I'm not saying those mock-up ones. I need to see them on the ice wearing it and see what it looks like. That's what I gotta see. So I don't know. I mean, for me, it's still up in the air. But if they did orange helmets, oh, good Lord, help us. Yeah.
Probably wouldn't watch the game. I'd probably be a Wild fan. You guys know how much I hate the Wild.
Oh yeah, that's true. We know that. I guess one last question. I mentioned it earlier in the show, but our buddy Tom in England, TOMO_WB on Instagram, he asks, since we're the new charm for the Ducks, since, obviously they won when we were there, but he asked if we were going to any road games this year. So are you planning to go to any Ducks road games this year, Eddie?
Yeah, I am actually gonna go to the one in Buffalo in January. That's my birthday's January 2nd, so I'm gonna have that as my birthday present to myself. I'm gonna go to that game, and I plan to go to at least 2 other arenas out of state. I'm thinking St. Louis and Dallas. I have friends over there from the military, so I can connect with them and go see that. But you know what, Mike? This is a good question. I think you and I should go to a road game. We can do a road game. We can do a live show, and that'd be fun.
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, what's funny is I was thinking we could go to Vegas. That wouldn't be too far. I don't count LA, so we're not going to count the Kings.
No, I don't count
that
Vegas either, dude. Vegas is backyard. We have to do something different, dude.
Well, we could go to Arizona. We should just go to ASU. Their arena's pretty good. I don't know if everybody heard the news about that, but of course there's all kinds of drama with Arizona and the ASU thing and trying to fill the stands and the cost of the tickets, and that's why I brought it up. I guess it's just a complete, lack for a better word, shit show, or I guess horror show, since we're on Halloween doing our show, but they're having some serious issues over there. So I don't know, we could maybe go over there and check it out, but no, seriously, yeah, we should try to go. I am actually going to go to a Winter Classic game, a legit Winter Classic game. My other half and I wanted to go to one. We were going to go to Boston on New Year's. I already got our flight and tickets and all that stuff squared away to see my other team, the Penguins, right? My second favorite team against Boston. I'll probably have to go undercover brother because I don't want to get my ass kicked in Boston wearing Penguin stuff, but we still plan to go. I'm looking forward to that. I have never been to Boston, so excited to do that because I like going to hockey games. I mean, obviously, especially if it's the Ducks, but I like going to games even if it's not the Ducks. I'm a big hockey nut, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we should try to figure out something and try to go to a game.
Yeah, San Jose,
yeah,
Arizona, something like we should just do that. We bring our stuff, do a live show. That'd be fun. I've never been to a game with you outside of Anaheim, so
yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be. It'd be a blast. It's something we can definitely look into.
And I post a lot of pictures from Buffalo. I've never been to Buffalo, New York. I know their bars don't close till 4 a.m. So that's gonna be awesome. Niagara Falls, it's gonna be a good experience. And I have my buddy, which is funny. He texted me today, said he's down to go with me. I'm like, oh, cool. His birthday's January 20th. So and mine's the 2nd. So it's gonna be both of our birthday presents to go to Buffalo in January and watch the Ducks in Buffalo play. Ducks better win. If not, I'm going to throw myself off the freaking Niagara Falls. But
hey, just don't try to knock yourself out, okay? You got to watch out.
I'm not that tall.
Yeah, watch out for those low bridges in the ceiling. But yeah, I mean, that'll be fun going to that game, to check them out and see what happens. The other fun part about going to the East Coast, for those of you that haven't, is the time change, because you can party that much longer. When it's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock over there, and you're like, oh, it's kind of getting late. You're like, nah, man, it's only like 8, 9 o'clock our time here. Like, that's just me. I've been to the East Coast several times, and I always crack up because for some reason I end up staying up till like 2 or 3 in the morning over there, because it's only 11, 12 o'clock over here. So that's the fun part about being over there too, is I don't know, you just could stay up late easier. So that's something I look forward to too as well. And my other half and I will do that too, because there's a lot of places, I guess, around Fenway Park to go party, whatever. So we're really looking forward to checking out. We'll be there for like 3 or 4 days. But yeah, we'll see what other games come up. And try and do more road games this year as well. I guess only last other thing, just kind of to wind up the show. I don't know if you listened to Kessler do his interview lately, but he talked about torts, and I listened to it, and Eddie, you listened to it too, and I bring it up obviously because Kessler, retired Duck, yada yada yada. But as we finished the show on this, like, what did you think about his interview? He cracked me up. Saying that he was going to fight torts and all this.
Kess is like, he has zero filter, and I love that. I respect. I was in the military. Like, if you guys are fans, if you guys listening, if you guys are in the military, you understand what I'm talking about. Like, us service members, we have zero filter. Like, we don't mean to be disrespectful. We just say what is on our mind. And Kess did exactly that. Oh, it was just a good interview. He almost fought John Tortorella. But everything that people say, and Kessler said it, and all the other players say, like, he's a hard, tough coach. They hate him, but they elevate their games to be better. So I think he's one of the best coaches in the NHL and best coaches in generational wise. And Kessler's interview was just, yeah, he's great. And it was really cool too. On a lighter note, his hip surgery is going well. He can actually have that quality of life. He's been playing with his kids and been able to do that. He's coaching. Yeah, it's cool. Mike, I told you I'm going to try to hit him up and see if we can get him on the show. We can just pick his brain and talk to him. And he seems like in a better place than he was last year, because last year I had an interview with him. He was more just kind of like down and like he's just like whatever. And now he just seems full of life and everything. So I really hope he responds back to us and we can get him on the show and we can show fans his true colors.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a blast if we're able to do it. We can reach out to him. There's I won't go into it, but there won't be any obstacles. Let's just put it that way. There won't be any obstacles to talking to him, just like there are with other retired players. So yeah, we could try and figure that out and work that out. That would be fun to have him on there. I'm not going to ruin the Spitting Chicklets interview. Go listen to it, though. It's awesome. He talks about it on there. They put some clips up on social media and stuff and whatnot. Whether you like those guys or not, I know some people have mixed feelings, but the interview with Kessler was pretty good. So I just wanted to mention that in there and check it out. And I think you're right. He is in a better place. So I'm happy for him.
Well, you can tell the fans, too, about what I'm trying to do. For some reason, Tara Reid follows me on Twitter. So hopefully I can bring her to a game and...
I know. We were talking about
make
that.
Make her a Ducks fan.
I know. I mean, like, hey, man, you're going to be a celebrity, Try and hook it up. So, yeah, fun times. Great. Ducks didn't play well, but, they won that last game. They've shown a little bit of an improvement, as we've talked about. Obviously, still some work to be done. I'm really curious to see what decisions Verbeek makes in the coming days or coming weeks. So, regardless, win or lose, I swear this team is one of the most interesting teams to follow in the NHL, and I love doing it. I love doing it, too, with Eddie. We had a great time. We're planning to go to some more games, too, in November coming up. We got the Veterans game coming up. We got the Law Enforcement Appreciation game coming up in November. A lot of good times, and the Ducks are playing some more home games finally. They started out with a lot of road games and a tough schedule, so hopefully that'll maybe turn some things around. And just as I wrap it up, just remember we have our patreon.com/DucksNPucks. You can get some cool gear on there if you sign up. You can also check out our store at tpnhockey.com. And in addition to that, don't forget we're at Noble Ale Works. That's where we're going to be having our watch parties and doing a lot of stuff there. So exciting times, a lot of good things going. And also, we do have a YouTube channel too, youtube.com/DucksNPucks podcast. Check it out. We're almost up to 1,000 followers. So if you can subscribe on there and get us to that, we're like 4 or 5 away. So we're loving the support from all you guys. From Eddie and I, we appreciate it a lot. Eddie, anything you want to say as we close out the show?
No, just thank you, you guys. You guys are awesome. Like all your comments and stuff like that. It's just it really like rejuvenates me. It gets me like fired up. Like let's do this. Like yeah, Ducks aren't going to be that well, but hey, we're all part of like a tight knit community family. So let's just have fun, live a good life, and watch some great hockey. So, and I'm really grateful, Mike, for you, and I'm really humbled to be part of this show and be your co-host. I couldn't ask for anything better. So, let's go.
I appreciate it too, man. It's been a lot of fun. And every time we go to a game, it seems like good things happen and crazy things happen too. So watch out for the low bridges on the stairs at Honda Center. And we'll be back probably in a week. And let's go Ducks.